If you have consistent 30% days, you will succeed better, faster, stronger, more long-term than someone who has spotty 100% days. Our capacity is different every day. And motivation is fleeting. Motivation isn't there every day. You can't wait for motivation all the time. It's not coming. You have to do it yourself, genuinely, and you have to be a self-motivator.
Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Podcast. Today, I'm excited to welcome back Amy. Amy is the director of group coaching at Next Level University. She's passionate about guiding others through transformation, building confidence, discovering the deep connection between self-worth and personal growth. Welcome back, Amy, to the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Justin, for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
I know I've been working with you and I've been learning that there's more to self-worth and growth. It goes kind of deeper. And myself, I've been feeling like there's a lot more work that can be done there.
I think there's always a deeper layer. There's always more we can learn about ourselves, others, the world, how our emotions work, everything. So it's one of those things where this is a striving, not arriving journey. There's always something more, always. And so I love that we're going to dive into some of those deeper layers today.
Yeah, me too. I like how you said that because I always thought there was just like a destination to get to, but not realizing when you peel back those layers like an onion, there's just more to uncover, more to unravel and figure out. It's really an ongoing process.
It can be. And we can have milestones that we want to get to along the way, little mini goals and things, milestones that we set our sights on. But then once we reach those, we can hopefully realize that there's further to go. And this is just an ongoing journey that we can all choose to take.
Yes, I love that. I've talked to some people before and they're like, well, I did this work. I'm done now. I feel great. But then years down the road, it creeps back up on them. They're like, how did this happen? How do you think it happened?
Yeah.
You stopped doing the work, stop putting in the
That's right.
effort. It's almost like you kind of lost the meaning of what your self-worth was during that process.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's kind of dive into this more about self-worth and how does that obtain to growth? Like,
Mm.
how can we really start that journey on self-worth? What does that really mean? Why should we start that?
Well, like you said, this is a journey you're starting to dive into yourself. Not only did you hear about it in group coaching, but now we're working behind the scenes on these things as well. And self-worth, well, we'll do all three. Self-worth, self-belief, and consistency are all pillars of success. So if you can increase your levels of these three regularly, it will help you in your goals and in whatever version of success you are working on. Success is very subjective. So we like to make sure we're honoring everyone's version of that. But self-worth is an internal game. This is how we feel about ourselves and the things we're doing in the world and whether we're feeling worthy of having them, of achieving them, of doing them, of taking care of them. And so it's the little bit of an opposite but coexisting thing with self-belief, because self-belief is an external game. Self-belief is our competencies and our capabilities to achieve certain things in the external world, especially our beliefs around our capabilities of achieving XYZ in the external world. And they go really well together, but they're two different things and two different processes to build. And you can build each one.
I didn't know they were different. I know I started talking with you, I started learning that they are two separate things. I couldn't figure out, like, do I have great self-worth or do I have great self-belief? And I'm still confused sometimes with them, but I'm learning to kind of dissect and we separate them from each other, kind of looking at them one at a time. And like, it's interesting. And then you talk about consistency. I feel like once you have more self-worth and belief, it builds up that consistency over time.
Yeah,
Because
and
I
they
know I've
feed
been inconsistent my whole life.
and they feed each other. The more consistent you are in the things that matter to you, the more it builds your belief and worth. So they all feed each other really beautifully.
Yeah, that's very well said. See, so because I'm trying to understand and maybe for our audience too, let's break it down. Self-worth. Let's start with that one first. What exactly does that mean and entail? What kind of work would I need to do to feel more self-worth in my life?
Great question. So we have this framework called the pyramid of self-belief, and I'll take you through all 5 layers so that you guys have something tangible to take away from. And as we go through these layers, I want you to assess, okay, which one am I already doing really well? And then which one do I struggle with the most? Focus
Yeah.
in on that one, because as much as we would love to take on all 5 at once, that's not sustainable, and we always want to do things sustainably when it comes to growth so that it builds into our identity and it keeps going with us as we move forward, and it compounds over time. And so if you can picture a pyramid with 5 layers, the bottom, the base, is very important in a pyramid. Pyramids can only be built as high and as strong as the base is wide and strong. And so the bottom is actually really tied to self belief. It's keeping the promises you make to yourself. So, how often are you saying you're going to do something and not doing it? It is hitting you in your self belief and your self worth if you are not doing those things. How often are we showing up for other people more than we're showing up for ourselves? How often will we say we will do something for someone else and do whatever it takes to get it done because we said we would, but how often are we giving ourselves that same kind of integrity? It's typically not the same, especially people with low self worth, because we will constantly do things for others over ourselves. And so, how often are you keeping the promises that you make to yourself? Because it's self worth it's a you against you game. Because we need self worth to come from the inside. Yes, we can see where we could gain self worth points from external things, but we do not want to only gain self worth from external validation. And unfortunately, a lot of us, that's the only place we see it.
Yeah, I see that real hard. Well, kind of
Yes.
used to be. Seeing the light now more.
Mhm. Yeah, and a lot of us do that, and I love to use women as an example because women, when you talk about, well, what makes a worthy woman? What makes a good woman? There are always external examples. Always. Is she a good wife? Is she a good mother? Is she a good community member? Is she a good household keeper? Is she this? Is she daughter? Is she blah? It's how she is for other people. And that, again, if that is a piece that matters to you in your identity, that is something that you can do and you can do with purpose and clarity and integrity. But it can't be the only thing that gives you worth and value and feelings of worth and value. We need them to come from within. And if we get them externally, that's a bonus. Can't be the other way around. So keeping the promises you make to yourself is that first layer. How often are you doing this? And you can rate yourself even from 1 to 5 on each one, or 0 to 5 on each one, and see where this falls for you. The next one is boundaries. How well are you keeping boundaries with yourself and others in the areas that matter to you most, especially through a layer of self respect and within like the persons, places, things, and ideas that you spend a lot of your time with? Now, unfortunately, a lot of us are out here trying to set boundaries with people in our lives. And I see this online all the time
Not
and in
working
social.
very well.
Well, because we're doing it wrong. We're doing it so wrong. So what's happening is someone is saying, "Hey, this person didn't honor my boundaries. I told them they couldn't do that. I told them they had to do this. I told them this, this, this." Okay, you're
Tell
dictating
me what
other.
to do.
Exactly, and that's how it's always going to be met. The second you try and tell someone to what to do, there's this part of their brain that is automatically going to fight you and say, "Don't tell me what to do. What are you doing? Don't do that." And at the end of the day, that they're kind of right because we actually can't control other people. We can influence other people. But if Justin, you start yelling at me from across the screen here and you start calling me names and I say, "Justin, knock it off. You can't do that. Don't talk to me that way. Stop it."
Don't tell me what to do.
You kind
Dare
of
you?
still can, right? You can still say whatever it is you want. Boundaries control you because you are the only thing you have actual control over. And so when I say, "Hey, Justin, I need you to stop speaking to me this way. If you choose to keep speaking to me this way, I am going to leave the room. I am going to remove myself from this conversation because this is not a good place. This is not an aligned conversation. I do not like my self respect won't allow me to be spoken to this way, however you want to word it. But it's you choosing to remove yourself from an unaligned or a toxic situation. You can only say so much to someone about directing their behavior when in reality, we need to be able to direct our own. And so, how
That's
well
hard
are
to
you
do
setting those
sometimes.
boundaries? It is so
Really
hard. It is
hard.
so.
You're caught up in the toxicity of yelling, screaming, arguing, or something, and you're just standing there like, okay, I need to remove myself. I need
Yes.
to go. And you're just taking it sometimes, or just you don't have that self worth to understand to remove yourself to do
Mhm,
that.
mhm. Or maybe you're a people pleaser, or you're scared you're gonna lose love from this person if you set this boundary, so it stops you from doing so. But those are both 2 things of low self-worth. And so the more you can build your self-worth, the easier it gets to set these things, and that's why the next layer is actually courage. How courageous are you? Especially socially. How is your social courage? How safe and courageous do you feel to be authentically yourself in a social situation? So, are you laughing at things that maybe aren't funny? Are you choosing to laugh at things that aren't funny? Or maybe you want to laugh at something, but you don't want to because
Fake
XYZ.
laugh.
Again, whatever that is, those are just really good examples. Are you speaking your truth? Are you sharing in this common social area about things that matter to you, about your opinions? Or are you keeping quiet? Are you playing small? There's so much that goes into courage, but again, the courage to be authentically you and as close to that version as you can be in social situations, especially. So that takes courage because for some of us, we feel like we're not enough. And for others, we feel like we're too much. And so we dim or we inflate in certain situations, especially social ones. And the more we can learn to just be with ourselves and be ourselves with others, we feel better at the end of the day. It is more aligned for us. You become more fulfilled along the way. And sometimes, yes, that's going to ruffle the feathers of the people around you, but the more you deepen your self-worth, the more you're going to trust that that is okay. It is
Right.
okay if they decide to distance themselves from you because they were benefiting from you not having courage and not having boundaries, and now they have to learn to deal with that, and that is okay.
That's powerful because I was there myself. I always thought I was too much for people, and then I had to because I'm being an ADD and on the spectrum, and they have all this energy. Everyone else is like, "Oh my god, can you like calm down?" Or like, "What are you doing?" Or this is a lot. It's not socially acceptable. And I get to the point, you know what? Fuck your social acceptability. I am who I am. But it took a lot to understand that. I did a lot of work I had to do. But also, in the what is that? The difference between self doubt and self belief versus self esteem. What are those
Yeah.
differences? Like, you can have low self esteem, but those. Hey, my fellow humans, sorry to interrupt your video, but if you're looking for more ways to protect and empower your healthcare practice, we would love to help. At IT CMD, our mission is to simplify IT, boost security, and support your compliance journey with a human touch so you can focus on caring for your patients. Want to see how easy IT and cybersecurity can be? Schedule a free consult or check out our resources at iteecmd.net. Let's build a safer, stronger future together. Okay, bye. Connected?
I think self esteem and self worth are deeply correlated. I think if you have high self belief and high self worth, you have higher self esteem because you constantly have proof. Constantly. You constantly have proof that you are who you say you are and you're doing what you say you're doing and you're living a life that is true to you and feels good. It is deeply integrous. It is deeply filtered through self respect. And again, consistency too is going to play into it. I think that self-esteem is you proving to you over and over and over again that you are the person you say you are and the person you want to be, and you're doing the work that you're going to need to do to keep growing into that. But again, that takes time, it takes practice, it takes so much courage, again, to do that authentically. So it's not an easy journey, but it is one that is worth it. And as someone who came into this journey with very high self belief, but low self worth, doing this self worth practice of these 5 things over the last couple years, and I'm talking, I have honed in on this like you wouldn't believe. Everything goes through this lens the last few years so I could increase my self worth. It has changed my entire life, genuinely. How I show up in the world, how I'm perceived by others, how again, some good, some bad. But again, I feel good about me. And I
There
have
comes
great
down.
people. Right, and I have great people in my life, and I'm attracting now the right people who also value this version of me, and so that's been really fascinating, but for me, my lowest of the 5 was social courage. So this is the one I really had to work on, to say the things I was thinking, to not dim and suppress everything. Again, I fall in the category of feeling like too much, and I make people uncomfortable with whatever it is, my intelligence, my conversation skills, however that looks. Again, I dim because I never want to make people feel bad consciously or unconsciously to be in my presence
Yeah,
because I'm
I
such a
feel
loving
that.
human. So it's just automatically caused me to dim and to dim and to dim. And so social courage was my biggest one. And then boundaries, obviously, because those two go together. And so next, this one I never struggled with. This one I've always been really good at is investing. in yourself. I was always able to invest in myself. And so that is something with my self worth that I didn't need to work on as much because that's something I automatically already did. So I loved that we can dissect this pyramid of which one am I already doing so I don't need
Yeah.
to focus on it, and which one am I not doing and it really needs to come up to help my self worth. And so investing in yourself, people kind of freak out when I say this because they're like, oh my gosh, I have no time. I have no money. I have no, again, if you can invest in yourself monetarily, that's amazing. Go do that. If you have the time to go do big, crazy, amazing things that invest in yourself, obviously go do that. But I am talking on the day to day. Even if you're investing in yourself in major ways once a month, once a quarter, that's amazing. But what are you doing every day? What are you doing
Like, what
every
does
day
that
to
look like?
invest? That's right, in you. And I guarantee there's things you're probably already doing every day, but it's not with the intention of this is for me in this moment. So
Ooh,
self care, investing in yourself, right? Is just this intention. I drink tea every day, but for a few cups of tea, I try and get one in every day where it's very intentional. I'm going to make this and drink it while it's hot. I'm going to use intentional herbs that my body needs in whatever season I'm in, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm needing. It's going to be a very intentional cup of tea. I'm going to drink it while it's hot. I'm going to enjoy it while it's hot. I'm not going to reheat this thing. It is going to be an intentional moment for myself. And again, I do that all the time. So, how can I turn something I'm already doing into something that can be self care? Listening to this podcast, this is you investing in yourself right now. If you're listening,
yes,
this
100%.
counts. There is so much you can do that is free and you can multitask while doing it, like audiobooks, like listening to podcasts. That is you investing in you. You have a shower every day, take a couple extra minutes in there for yourself to do something a little extra, whatever that looks like. Maybe use the good skincare, whatever that looks like. But it's you intentionally having a moment of investment for you, mind, body, soul, whatever that looks like, whatever you need that day. And a really powerful question you can start asking yourself, and I encourage you to ask yourself at least once a day, is what do I need in this moment? What do I need in
Mm,
this moment to keep doing the things that I need to do?
do I need write that out.
Right? Sometimes it's just, oh my gosh, I haven't hydrated at all today. I'm so thirsty. Amazing. Go pause and take a drink of water. Sometimes for people, it's, oh my gosh, I haven't even stopped to take a breath today. I'm doing, drink that water. I know now all of a sudden I'm thirsty talking about it as well. But we are constantly in this state of go, 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 go. And it's very busy and we're not focusing on
Yeah,
things, taking a moment. So we're also always very shallow breathing. We're only breathing into the tops of our chest, which keeps us in a certain stage of fight or flight a little bit.
I can see
So
that.
how often, right, can you just pause? What do I need in this moment? Oh my gosh, I haven't even had just a full deep breath yet today. It can be as
How
simple
often
as
should we do that? Like, every hour,
genuine.
every few
Yeah,
moments?
as often as possible, especially the breath one. Take a moment, take a breath, because the second you take a moment and take a breath, you tap back into yourself and you're going to be able to actually meet your needs better. So take a breath. What do I need in this moment? Oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. Here we go, right?
Now that you say that, I think when I go take my walks, that's me taking my breath. I'm able to
It is.
regroup, re-energize, and come back and be like, "Okay, I can do this from a different place, not so rushed, not so I have to get this done. It's more calm, more collected, I can think better." I
Yeah,
feel
and just
that.
with the intention, if you're already going for these walks, double down on the intention of this is a moment for me. This is a moment to
I haven't
recenter,
been
to
doing that
reset, to
part. I need to do that
refocus.
more.
So just the intention changes everything.
Yeah, I haven't been doing that. The intention, that's so key, right? I do these things out of habit, but I don't really think about the intention of, okay, what am I doing this for? And who am I doing this for? I don't think that. It's just like you said earlier, so busy. I got this to do. I got that to do. But like
Mhm.
now we're having this conversation. I'm gonna remember that now. What do I need?
Yeah, because
That's
I guarantee you're
powerful.
doing things, like you said,
Yeah.
habitually. You're doing things habitually already that you could just already be using to give yourself brownie points in self-belief and self-worth with the intention. There's so many great things that a lot of people are doing every day, and they're missing out on building the identity of self-belief and self-worth in those things they're already doing. I think we have to go do these different and elaborate things, and sometimes that's important. But if we can integrate it into the things we're already doing every day, winning, such a superpower. Oh my goodness, absolute win. So, how are you
Yeah,
investing
we
in
gotta
your?
climb mountains, man. We wanna climb mountains.
Yes. So, how are you investing in yourself every day, and what can that look like for you? And again, you can have a small, medium, and large version of that. What are your 3 favorite things? And tap into those. The last one, the tip of the pyramid, is comparison. Now comparison can
Who does
be
that?
the comparison can be the thief of all joy, it can be detrimental, or comparison can be deeply inspiring if you choose to. So, where are you using comparison? Are you using it to a detriment or are you using it to fuel you and inspire you? Those are two very different things. And now, with social media, we have access to so many people's lives, so many people's worlds, when in reality, it's just a snippet, it's just a piece, it's not their whole life. We always have to
It's
remember
not
that.
real.
For most people, it's not. Oh my goodness. Kevin Allen and myself has such this thing with integrity that genuinely what you see on our social media is as close to a look into our real life as we can possibly give you because we deeply believe in integrity and not having that perception gap. We want to show you that we do practice what we preach every day, and here's how we do it while integrating it into our busy lives. And so be careful with that. Who are you comparing to? And what stage of their life are you comparing to? Are you even comparing to someone who has an entirely different lifestyle than you? Are you comparing your day to day as a mother to another woman's day to day who doesn't have children? You're already setting yourself up for failure there. That's not comparing apples to apples. That's comparing apples to pineapples. It's not the same.
They don't taste the same way, that's so true. I find
They really.
myself doing that when I'm online, like, I'm into a lot of fitness, and I see all these guys doing fitness and martial arts. I'm like, "Whoa, why can't I do that?" But I realize they've been doing that for so many years, I'm just getting back into that. I'm not gonna look like that. I'm not gonna be able to do that just yet. I have to remember that. But like you said, it's on social media, it's being pushed in our feeds. I remember Alan talked about this before, about we have to be careful about what we have in our feeds, what shows up there. There'll be stuff that shows up that's not putting us in the direction where we want to go. And we compare it to that. We look at that, we judge because of that. It's
Mhm.
so true.
Yeah, the second you have a goal in mind, it's really important to assess your influences and are they aligned with this goal or not? And that includes your social media. If you're on social media and you have, like, say, a monetary success goal, a fitness goal, a business goal, a health goal, anything that is coming into your field of input that is against that goal is not helping you. It's whether
I had to
conscious.
go through my social media and block a lot of stories. A
Hmm.
lot of random stuff that Alan was talking about kept showing up. There's like
Yeah,
pictures of like half naked women and things. I'm like, I even subscribe to this, but all of a sudden people are using this to get your attention. I saw some fitness guys doing it. I'm like, what
yeah.
the hell are you? What? And block because like
Hmm.
it's crazy.
I know. For you guys, it's like the second they know you're a man, they just integrate it in there
If you
in
go,
yep, into your algorithm regardless. Kevin, Alan, my husband, like they're constantly, don't show me this content anymore. Don't show me this content. And it still shows up. So there are things, whether you know it or not, that are fighting for your attention that are not for you. And you have to fight back.
like you said, be intentional about it. I really went
Yeah.
on there and started going through all the people I have on my list and the people like, why am I following this person? Do I need them? What's the last few things they posted? Is it bringing value to my life? No, block. You know, that might not be
Hmm.
practical. We have thousands of friends, but this is a little bit at a time, 5 a day, 10 a day, or something. That's what
Yeah,
I've
or
been
just
doing.
as it comes up, right? As it comes up. If you're seeing something, you're like, nope, this is not for me, right? If you're on a
I appreciate.
dietary plan and someone is giving you all of these meals and recipes that are so high calorie and you're like, oh, I'm struggling so bad, then that is
I'm
not the
like,
content for you. You want to follow someone who's giving you high volume foods at a low calorie, high protein rate. That's the one for you, right? The second we set a goal, if we actually want
so
to. People just talk about,
no,
"Oh, have big, hairy, audacious goals and think about it really hard and take action and you'll get there." It's like, "Now what?" Yes, and. Yes, and. What else? And that is one of those things we need to be really conscious of, those unconscious and conscious cues that are in our environment. Again, persons, places, things, and ideas. Are they for or against your goal? And how much effort are you putting into making sure that all of those things are aligned? Because that is how you set yourself up for success.
that is so powerful because it's like that those old habits, the old things that you're trying to get away from are just kind of following you. And it's kind of
That's right.
like, why aren't things changing here? because they're in your day-to-day life. They're right there in front of you all the time. I feel
Mhm.
that with the
Why are
food
not
one. Like, you're, like, in my feed right now.
Yes, yes, and even, like, let's say women who struggle with body issues, it's like, "Gosh, I'm trying so hard to have positive thoughts about my body, but I just can't seem to get there." It's like, "Well, what are you feeding your mind? Are you constantly scrolling through content that is not going to serve you when it comes to your body positivity and the view of your health?" And again, it's all we don't even think about it, but it has so much unconscious power over us that I think we need to address more.
And we take for granted how psychologically damaging things can be to us. We don't take that into account too much. We don't think about it. A lot of this stuff is like in our subconscious for the most part. And
That's right.
we say we brush over it. But then down the road we're like, why do I feel this way? But it's like right in front of you why you feel that way, what you're looking at. It's just
Yeah.
in your face all the time.
Mhm.
It does damage how you're trying to it does damage the way you feel, the way you think, the way you act, and your self-worth. Really
Yes.
does.
Very much so. So recapping that pyramid of self-worth, it's keeping the promises you make to your boundaries, courage, especially social courage, investing in yourself, and healthy comparison. Those are the ones. Start there and start running everything through the filter. This is one that really helped me is I ask myself this question all the time. Is this going to increase or decrease my self-respect?
Ooh,
Because that
damn.
helps decide on the more accurate, optimal choice than just the choice that feels good. Because fulfillment, self respect, self worth, these are not always the easy, happy, fun, light choice.
They're deep, dark, scary, messy, gross, ugly, yet beautiful at the same time.
At the same time, I agree because actually, lots of times, the most fulfilling, the right, especially for goals, the more self respect, self worth choice is the harder choice. And I don't
I
think that
always
gets
say
talked
choose
about
your
enough.
heart.
Yes,
I
and
always
I don't think that
choose
gets
your
talked about
heart.
enough.
It's
It's
hard to
all
work on yourself.
it
It's hard
is, but
not
how
to.
many people out there are spewing, if it's for you, it feels good. Lean into what feels good. It's like,
Everyone.
no, no. Some things feel good, but a lot of the really important growth and the more like the most success I see in people are the people who dig into the stuff that doesn't feel good. That
You
is
know, when you
so
bring
good
that
for
up, that reminds me of, like, why I stopped dating, and, like, everyone's about, "Oh, yeah, you go sleep with people and stuff and have sex," but for me, that was, like, the opposite of that because those things didn't make me feel good when they happened, it would make me feel very removed and disconnected and lonely, more lonely when you when I did those things, you know?
Yeah,
And
because when
everyone's
it's
pushing
just
that.
superficial for the superficial basic need, right? It's not as
Wait 5
fulfilling.
seconds, and I'm depressed. Yeah.
That's right, and I get it. We all have I mean, we all go through phases, we all go through things, and again, it's so important to discover things
Mhm.
you like, don't like seasons of life are so important. But you're obviously ready and in a season of, "I want something more meaningful, more fulfilling, rather than just this superficial pleasure." And I think that's an important season to be in and to embrace, because that also
Yes.
is the harder choice sometimes.
Oh, it is. But it gets a little bit easier the more you really reflect on it and put that into motion, like you said, being intentional with it.
Yes.
You start seeing your value, your worth, and what you bring to the table. And you even start creating your own damn table, you know?
Mhm. That's right. Again, that filter of self-respect. If I go home with this girl tonight, is that gonna increase or decrease my self-respect? Well, depending on the season you're in, one, it might increase your self-respect because that's the goal you're going for. Or maybe if you're in a season like yourself, that would actually be the opposite of the right choice for
Yeah.
you in this season. So that
It gets
filter of
real dark real
self-respect,
fast.
it can, which is why support systems are so important, why community is so important, why you need to surround yourself with people who are on the same trajectory as you or have the same beliefs or the same goals as you, because anyone trying to do something great and change their life always goes through a lonely season. We call it lonely land. It has a name for a reason. And the more you can surround yourself with the people that genuinely like support you and are on this journey with you, even just to validate the struggle, it is so worth it to find that kind of community, because not all days in personal growth are light and love and fun and momentous. No, some of them are crappy and you're dealing with shame and guilt and all sorts of things,
At
but
the
it's a part of
bottom
the
of an ice cream barrel and a bunch of cookies, you know?
You know it. Sometimes we need to have those moments. Now, should we live there? Absolutely not. But is it important that we
No.
validate that state and understand why it's there? Absolutely. Or you're going to keep finding yourself there. So again, if you're having hard moments and hard realizations, I would argue that you're doing the work better and deeper and more like more long term and more into your identity than people who are just sticking to the stuff that feels good.
And I heard a quote recently, and it really stuck in my head about if you I maybe it may have been Alan, I can't remember. Some of these things blend together. I listen to so much stuff all the time. I forget who says what, but like you do something one day, like if you missed the gym one day, that's fine. You missed it a second day, you're creating a habit. I was like, wait a second. So I do it 2, 3 times, you're creating another habit, going in the opposite direction of where I want to try and go in. And that really kind of stuck with me. Like you miss one
Yeah.
day, that's okay. Two, don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
people who struggle with all or nothing thinking struggle to miss that day because now they've messed up the whole week. There's no point in going for the rest of the week because they've messed that up. Some people go as extreme as, well, I've messed up the whole month because I said I was going to do it every day this month, so I don't even need to bother. I'll start again next month.
I
That's
was
all
there.
or nothing thinking. That's perfectionism. You will struggle to take action and build self belief if you're in that kind of mindset. We always want to think of messy action, progress over perfection, because at the end of the day, if you have consistent 30% days, you will succeed better, faster, stronger, more long term than someone who has spotty 100% days. You will.
Ooh, I love how you said that. That's really powerful. I saw a meme that showed that recently about
Yeah.
20%, 30%, and all 100s. It's so true. I struggled with that for so long, and this took some time to really kind of learn it and train it out of me. So they
Mhm.
don't teach us this. They don't show us this stuff. But this thing is all or nothing.
Yes.
Like you have to do your good or your bad, but it's not the case. There is
Yeah.
gray area. It's not
There
black or white.
is. There is. It's do it excellent or don't do it at all. Get an A or everything else is garbage. It's like life's not like
Yeah.
that. Life's not like that. Some days are really hard. Some days are so reactive and so hard. And if you're someone who can push through that hard and still get your habits done half ass, you are an awesome human. Genuinely, you are someone who can push through things and are not basing everything on how you feel. And that's an important skill to develop if you're working on success, whatever that means to you. It doesn't matter what that looks like. Success can mean anything to you. But if you're pushing towards success, unfortunately, success does not care about your feelings ever. Now, you as the human have to care about your feelings. That's really important. I'm not saying that feelings aren't important.
That's hard
They
to separate.
they are. But if you want to achieve something, some days you are not going to feel like doing the thing you need to do. And you have to have that moment, that literally like F my feelings moment, and get it done. And again, give yourself permission to get it done half ass. Give it the 30% that you have to give and
I
trust
feel
that
like you
maybe
just
you
gave me permission to do that. I don't know why. It's just like that clicked a little bit.
Yeah, because our capacity is different every day. And motivation is fleeting. Motivation isn't there every day. Motivation is very
Motivation's
fleeting.
bullshit. I mean,
It is, it can be, definitely. You can't wait for motivation all the time. It's not coming. You have to do it yourself, genuinely, and you have to be a self-motivator. And to do that, sometimes it is being able to let go of all or nothing thinking, being able to let go of that perfectionism, giving yourself permission of, hey, you know what? I actually only have 30% capacity to give to anything today, but I'm going to give 100% of that 30%. Your 100% looks different every day. And if you can accept that and
damn,
acknowledge that, you can still get shit done.
damn. That has really hit home for me right now. Because it's been in
Mhm.
my mind, you put that into words to really understand that. That my 100 is not going to be the same. My capacity is going to be different every day. Because it has been. And I'm just like, oh, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. It must be me. But it's
Yeah,
me, but it's not me. It's
that's
just
right.
my
And you're not
mindset
alone in
about,
that.
yeah,
That's a really common place to get to of, oh, it's me, I suck, or maybe this thing that I'm trying to do isn't for me, or I'm not capable of doing it. When
yeah,
in reality, you're just not giving yourself enough wiggle room to be successful. You're not setting yourself up for success. You're not being able to you're not setting up sustainably on average. People are trying to jump from 0 to 10 instead of 0 to 1. You want to build this in a sustainable way. Typically, people aren't bringing in humility. How can you have humility to start in an accurate way and then build from there? Accurate place of where you're at. We all want to think we can do more, or sometimes we have really low belief and we believe we're not capable of it and we start small. But again, I would rather you start small and expand into your capacity than start too big and then convince yourself that either you suck or the thing sucks or both do or one's not for you. When in reality, you maybe just didn't lay a success path ahead.
So powerful. I'm like thinking in my mind now that I try to help friends sometimes with these things. In my mind, man, I probably really fucking overwhelmed them back in the past, trying to help
Mm,
them be successful too and just showing them all these cool things, but realizing I'm overwhelming them with information. And no
mhm,
wonder they're like, oh, cool, Justin. Okay. I
yes.
mean, because their capacity is so different.
Same, Justin, same. I used to do that as well. When I knew nothing about
Damn,
self-belief and things, I thought we all had just the same capacity in these things, but I
hey
have high,
guys.
right? So my level 2 might be someone else's level 10, and I'm talking to them at a level 10 for them, and I'm thinking them I'm giving them number 2. But it's yeah, this is why it's so important because as coaches, as people who influence others, as people who speak into other people's lives, it is so important to be able to take yourself out of the equation and assess their level of belief. Because let's say you and I go to the gym and your belief in the gym is so high, but mine is so low. But you're like, Amy, of course you can squat 300 pounds. Of course you can do this. Go, try it. Justin, you're going to break my legs and I'm going to be down the floor with
No, you
six
got this. Don't worry.
discs, right? That's what you're doing to people. That's what we're doing to people without knowing it if we don't understand how to separate our self belief, our capacity, our potential from someone else's. And that's a really important skill if you are speaking into others' lives to be able to develop because you can cause a lot of harm.
Yeah, I need to learn that more myself. And I just watched a video on YouTube where this guy was trying to teach this guy how to do like these break dance and push ups. There's like 18 different things to learn. And the guy's like, why can't you fucking do it? Like, dude, you have too much stuff going on here. Like, come on. Like, go through it slowly. I'm like, whoa. That guy didn't see that he's trying to show this guy for the first time something he's been doing for like 20 years. Like, what's
That's
wrong with
right.
you?
And then we think we suck when we're trying to start out on day 1 and try
Yeah.
and act like they're year 20. It's so important to assess timelines as well, right? I think we talked about this on our last episode where it was make sure you're not
Yeah.
comparing your first podcast to Kevin and Alan's 2.
Are there like 10,000 now? Good Lord.
I think they're coming up on 2,500. I think they're coming up
I've been
on it.
watching them every day. At first, it was a little hard to watch, but then I kept watching and I realized it wasn't about watching them, but it was about what they're saying and
Yes.
how they're saying it, and how they're going back and forth and dissecting these things. They're just really powerful. Decided
Yeah,
to
I
get past watching it and realize what they were saying was so powerful. And it
Yeah,
is.
the duality they can hold is really powerful because
Yeah.
Alan comes from a place of high self-belief. Kevin comes from a place of low self-belief. So they can speak
So
to both and
different.
dissect it from both lenses. And that's really powerful when you're speaking to the masses because you don't know who's listening, whether they have level 10 self-belief or level 1. And so it's really hard to
Yeah.
talk to the masses from that lens and keep it
And
macro
I'm
enough.
trying to learn that from them. I'm like,
Yes.
I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Damn. Cause it's not easy when you have this like you want to talk about something, but try and make it where it's like, well, they say psychologically you want to talk about stuff from a fifth or ninth grade reading level. Like you just want to make it very simple, very easy to comprehend and understand. You know,
Yes.
I get that, but it's hard to sometimes.
It is, especially on a podcast, because it's not like you can assess the level of people who are listening. It's really hard when you're public speaking as well, depending on the size of the room. It's hard to gauge. This is why one-on-one work is
Yeah.
really fun and powerful because then you are talking directly to that person because you can over time again know their self-belief, know their self-worth, know their individual goals, know their core wound, how to talk to them, how to pull stuff out of them. Do they feel like they're too much or do they feel like they're not enough? Do they fear success or do they fear failure? You can tailor everything you're doing to the individual. Whereas when you're zooming out and speaking to the masses, you're trying to give information that is blanket statement to all of those people. And what a disaster. 50% are going to think it's amazing, 50% are going to try it and it's going to be detrimental for them. So this disclaimer is always really important, I think, just to say, now if this resonates with you, that's amazing. You must be on this side. If it doesn't, this is for you or this isn't for you, and play around with that a little bit.
Yes. Now, I was just on a podcast yesterday, and there was a very high level about living neurons and AI and infrastructure for computers and quantum physics. Very high. I understood half of it, if that.
Yeah.
But having a conversation with this woman who was a neuroscientist and trying to figure out how to word my questioning so other people understood and that I understood what she was saying. But we were on two
Mhm.
different levels. And it was really difficult. It
Mhm.
was tough. I don't know if I'm going to release it. I'm still trying to figure that one out yet.
Yeah. But that's a gift to be able to grow as a host as well, to take someone's genius
Yeah.
and help them transcode it to a lower level of knowledge. That's what
True.
Kevin does to Alan all the time. Alan is the genius. Kevin's the filter that helps him transcode it into the
So
masses.
true.
And so they have a really cool thing going there.
Now you say that it is because Devin, that when you hear Kevin talk, it's just so simple. Like I get it. It's like an aha moment. It brings me in. Like, oh, you're talking to me, not
Yes.
through me.
Yes.
It's a lot to learn. If I joined your guys' community, I never really understood what community was. I didn't know how to build that, to create that. But having you guys as my coaches and everything in this community, I've been learning how to build it by reaching out, having conversation, going online and just talking on Instagram and Facebook and to bring that habit into place and just being better at that. I've noticed how it's kind of changed how I look at that now a lot more. And not
Mhm.
this like, oh, I have to do this. Is this I get to do this, It takes that away.
And again, how can I bring the intention to it that is aligned for me? How can I see it as a tool for what I want to do, even if it's the thing I don't want to do, but I have to do? There's so much in there. And again, you're crushing in
Yes.
group coaching. It's amazing. And now you've got all this other stuff happening behind the scenes with us. You're just absolutely crushing. We've seen the expansion and the growth things already. So I think you're
You've
doing
seen it?
really
I
well.
haven't even seen it. Wait, what do you
I
guys
can
see?
tell.
Hold on a minute.
I can
I
tell.
don't even know. I just
I
start
think
doing
you're doing
things and
great.
it clicks and I do things. I'm like, wait, but what is it that's happening? Wait, please, I need to take notes. Please tell me. I'm confused. I think that we were talking earlier. I need to be able to see it too, but like you said, with the intention, that shows me that I am growing and things are happening. I tend to do things on autopilot sometimes. I figure it out and I just do,
That's
and
the
that's
important
kind of
of
an issue.
measuring. That's why we really try and hit home with people on tracking and measuring so that you can look back with accurate eyes and say, oh, actually, a few weeks ago, I wasn't consistent at this. And now look, I am, even though on the day to day, it's so hard to notice change and
It
progress.
is.
But when you can zoom out and have data from week to week, month to month, and look back, even like a year ago, 2 years ago, and you actually get to look and be like, oh, what was hard a year ago, I am now crushing unconsciously every day, and I've added all this other stuff. So that's, I mean, again, I was against tracking habits and things to begin with, but Alan sold me on it. And now I see why, because I can look back and be like, especially when I think I'm sucking. Like I'm going through this season right now where I'm like, gosh, I'm a hot mess. I am doing nothing. Like, what is going on? When in reality, my capacity has expanded. I have actually gotten better. And so the things that I just now automatically do don't feel like enough of a challenge. So in reality, I'm still actually doing great things and I'm crushing habits every day. I work out every day. I do social media every day. I'm in WhatsApp every day. I do work every day. I do family stuff every day. Like there's so much that I do. And when I zoom out, I can be like, oh, on the day to day, I'm actually doing a very good job. But here is still where I can now expand because I can tell that I'm ready because I feel like I'm doing nothing.
I love that. I need to zoom out more.
Zoom
So
out.
I'm tracking my habits, and I've been noticing that, like, oh, my podcast is growing because the numbers are going up each day. I didn't really know that until I started tracking and seeing that. I'm like, people are actually listening to me. I'm so sorry.
No way, offering so much value. Of course, people are listening. And especially as you
Yeah,
get better at honing in on the things that work. And that's just it. How many of us are just doing so many things because we think we're supposed to, we think it's going to work without tracking and paying attention to what's working and what isn't? How are you supposed to double down on what's working and let go of what isn't? You wouldn't even
it's
know.
impossible.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know tracking.
Like,
I have talked to me 5, even 3 plus years ago, and I would not sound like this at all, which is why it's so important to go back and look. And if I could go back and see myself now, I'd be like, "Why are you talking about tracking? That feels terrible."
"Ah, what's wrong
But
with you?"
now now that I've been doing it for years, I'm like, "Oh, I get it. It's amazing. I get it."
From this conversation with you, I just put that together because I've been tracking my food for about a year now. I didn't know why I was doing it at first, but I realized, like, from this conversation with the tracker with Alan and everything, why I'm doing it. I can see everything in front of me. I can see the progress. I can see that I don't overeat. I can see what I'm eating. And it's just, you see all this information and all these analytics in front of you that you can really you can put them to work.
And it
I've had people
does.
tell me like, "Oh, why are you tracking stuff? Oh, you track your food? Oh, well, I don't do that. I can't talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, then don't talk to me. That's fine. I'm on a different journey right now."
Yes, unfortunately, when people start doing things at a level of excellence, then, relationships can change. That's why we call
Well,
it lonely land.
yeah, when I was trying to date, I saw that with a lot of the different people I was trying to date. Like,
Yeah,
I'd go like things I'm doing and habits I'm doing. Like, oh, you can do that. Oh, you have a business. Oh, well, that's what I'm not into. I'm like, okay, good. That's not for me.
that's
All they
right.
care about is their sports and going out to eat and partying. I'm like, okay, then good to know. Now I know what I don't want to need in my life.
That's
But
right,
in
and
a
now you
way, it
know it's
kind of helps.
for you, right?
Yeah. So just
Now you
that
know it's not
framing
for
it.
you because you have
Yeah.
goals, because you have priorities, because you have standards now, because you have self-respect now, because you're diving deeper into self-belief, self-worth. All of those things are going to
Yeah.
give you such a roadmap and such a view of who is for you and who is not. And so
It
again, that
was
can be really
stressful at first.
uncomfortable. It
Yeah,
is, but
really? I'm
it
like,
is,
"Is
but
it
is it worth
me?
it?
Maybe I should make myself and form myself into what you need." But I'm like,
Mhm.
"No, it's what I want, what I need, and what I'm building, and you
So
don't have to be there, that's fine."
so as someone who is going through that journey and has made so much progress and transition and things even in the last few years, and now you're really doubling down on that this last year, is it worth it? It's hard, but is it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth
Yes,
it.
I agree.
Because like I said earlier, choosing my heart. It's hard to be with people and around people who are not going the same direction or want different things. But it's also hard to create the direction, the things you want, and going in the direction that you need to go in. So I always said
Mhm.
choosing my heart here. But this
Mhm.
is a choice. But hell
Yes.
yeah, it's worth it. So
There's a
there are, like
fly.
you said, are lonely days. A
Yes,
lot
they
of
can
lonely
be.
days, but that's fine.
There's a fly in my office, and he's trying to
Get
attack
it,
me.
get it.
My goodness. So I yeah. No, I had one of those last week. It's not ideal.
No.
It's one of those things, you live out in the country, you never know what you're gonna have in your office. It's hilarious. I have chickens outside my window right now looking at me.
You walked into a bear yet in your office yet?
No, not yet. That one has not
I see the
happened yet.
YouTube videos all the
I'm
time.
really hoping for a raccoon. I would love a raccoon to show up in my office
"Come
one
here,
day.
buddy."
That's like I would. I'm one of those weird people that's like, "Oh, I wanna be friends."
Right? I always see these awesome videos people have online of their pet raccoons or pet squirrels or pet bears, like, I want a bobcat or something.
Right? I
They're just so
actually again,
iconic.
we're off the rails a little bit, but I actually,
Off
like,
subject.
I love raccoons so much, and I had this dream of, like, finding baby raccoons and keeping them forever. And last year, we found 2 babies. It was so hard for me to take them to the rehabilitation center. We did everything we could to make sure that their mother wasn't still around. We did all the things that you're supposed to do to make sure their mom can come back and get them for a couple days and things, but no, and you could tell there was a struggle in our yard, like, we think something got her. And then there were these 2 babies, Justin and I got to hold them and, like, feed them grapes. It was like my dream come true. I was so freaking excited, but there
How
were
can you
2
not
of them.
keep them or you shouldn't
Oh
keep
my
them? I
gosh,
don't know how
I
that
know.
works.
There was 2 of them, and they were a little bit older. If there was 1 and it was younger, I would have wanted to keep it so bad. But I mean,
Like,
I've got
what are you talking
chickens,
about? I don't have
I've
anything.
got so many cats, I got a dog. Again, if I had, like, less pets and there was only 1 of them and it was younger, I would have tried to keep it. It was like my fantasy. But at least I got that little bit of time with them, and then we took them to the rehabilitation sanctuary that's close by, so
I love that because that's part of my vision I have. is having
Mm,
a farm and living on land, having all the animals come on and adopting all of them and everything.
mhm.
Yeah, I feel that. The chickens, everything, even the
It's
foxes.
the best. It's the best.
You're living the life, Amy, living the life. I'm just here in lonely Newport. That's okay. Off subject here. Nice way to kind of close everything out, though. A little
Yeah.
lighter. Because it's a
I
lot of information we talked about, a lot of things. You know, it can be very overwhelming for people just to get started doing this. I know for me, it really was. I went through a
Mhm,
lot of therapy, a lot of coaching, a lot of self assessment, gym, fitness, so much I had to do to get to where I am. You
mhm.
know, and it takes a lot of work. A lot of people think that, oh, it's too much work to put into it. But like you asked me earlier, was it worth it? Was it worth it? And fuck yeah, it was worth it. It still is
Yeah.
worth it.
That's what keeps me motivated, is I know that every hard thing I've chosen to do so far has been hard, but on the other side, it's always worth it. So when I'm in these new goals and in these new, the muck of whatever it is that I'm going through, it's like, gosh, but it is worth it. And I am choosing to do this. And it's always worth it to get to the other side of what that looks like. Again, it's a never ending journey, but there's always these milestones that you can hit, whether it be a new awareness or a new thought process, a new action, a new habit, a new anything.
Aha.
That's right. And so it is worth it. It's challenging. People who say it's not, they're lying. It sucks sometimes, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. And that's why I love to just give people bite sized pieces because you can walk away from something really overwhelmed. The pyramid of self worth itself is still
Yeah.
5 categories of overwhelming information. And that's why I always give people permission to choose one. Pick one that is the most detrimental in your life right now, the one that is not giving you what it can give you if you're not practicing it or honoring it or diving deep into it. Again, the boundaries, the promises, that one it is. Pick the one that you are doing the least of or the not as well in and start there and then progress, build from there. I always want to give people permission to start small because starting small is sustainable. And that's how we build it into our identity and succeed along the way.
That is so true. Cause like now I have the capacity to take on more than I did before. You know, and you
Hmm.
will get to that level, you can take on 2 or 3 things, you
That's
know?
right.
But it's still gonna be challenging. And it's 'cause I had someone tell me this, being no matter what you're doing, if you're an entrepreneur, working for a business, or just trying to get your life together, there's gonna be challenges and different levels you have to, get to no matter what you're doing.
Hmm.
And you just gotta choose what challenges you wanna accept in your life, which ones you don't.
Hmm. And trust that you're growing into a person who can handle those challenges better and better.
Yes. That's like one of my goals right now is to get to the next level of my leadership. But I'm
Good.
not there yet because a lot of things I have to really work through and let go of to really see what that's going to be like. You
Hmm.
know? So I'm kind of like a plateau right now, but I know we're working together and stuff. And hopefully I'm going to get there eventually by working through all these things inside me. They're just no longer serving me.
And sometimes there's season where it feels like a plateau because maybe you're not doing anything new and expanding and growing into a new awareness, but sometimes it's a season of implementation. It can feel like a plateau, but it's actually more a season of I actually need to start implementing what I already know before I can keep growing into more.
Thank you so much for coming on here again. It's been a real pleasure really diving into this. I learned so much about myself. I'm hoping our audience learned a lot too and had some great takeaways. Is there anything you'd like to leave our audience with before we go and how they can reach out to you for coaching? You have an amazing coaching program. You have to let them know about it.
Thank you,
Yes.
Justin. Well, as always, it's always such a pleasure to be here and to talk with you and to work with you. You have become such an aligned part of our community. So I'm so
Yeah.
grateful our paths crossed. And as
Yeah.
for a parting thought, I think it is just the more you can dive into self awareness, the more the roadmap for you and what you want is clear. It becomes more clear. And the more you can create the guardrails of things like boundaries, self-respect, and all of these things, it just helps make the path so much clearer and not always easier, but more aligned and more optimal and more fulfilling. So dive into self-awareness as much as you can, get guidance if and when you can, and find people so that you have people to go through it with when you're in lonely land. And yes, coaches can help with that, free communities can help with that, whatever that looks like. But I am just at Amy Lenius on Instagram and Facebook. You can reach out to me genuinely anytime. The first call is always free, and you don't even have to progress after that if it's not for you. So I just love having conversations with people like this and to help them again, like I said, on that individual path. It's lovely to be able to talk to the masses like we're trying to do right now, but when you can get in face to face with an individual, we can really tailor this to you, your needs, your levels of self-belief, self-worth, and consistency, and dive through with that. I mean, we're working on your fulfillment currently right now, and I'm so
Yeah,
excited for
that's
that.
where the growth starts.
Yes. So reach out. I would love to talk to anybody.
Awesome. I'll definitely put that information in the show notes and everything. And thank you so much again for coming on here. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you, Justin. Pleasure as always.
I